What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Lillie Ennis. I'm excited to be here today. I have a special guest. But before we get into who our guest is, I just want to thank you for your time and tuning in to us. I am actually going to be interviewing this specific entrepreneur who's super exciting. But first, let me tell you who I am in case you are unfamiliar. I'm Lillie Ennis, born and raised in the Boogie Down Bronx. I know y'all see this Yankees jacket on right now. I am now a Connecticut cutie. Okay, I love living in Connecticut. I have made a home here with my two amazing children. And I am the Harriet Tubman of female entrepreneurs. I happen to be a money and mindset coach, and I'm super excited as an entrepreneur to be interviewing this specific entrepreneur that we have here. He's been a good friend of mine for over
almost 25.
Oh my God, stop telling our age like that. Okay, so he is a friend. He's someone that I trust dearly. He is an amazing husband. He is a very hands-on, spectacular father. He is a great businessman. He is a leader. He is an investment expert. And on top of that, he's a mentor. So he helps other people duplicate his success, which I think is so impressive. So without further ado, I want to welcome Mervyn Boone. How are you, baby?
I'm doing good, Lil. How are you?
I'm super excited to be here.
I'm super excited for you to have me. I feel like I won the Oscar right now. Let's go. Okay.
So we're going to jump right into it, okay?
No problem,
Because we
no
have
problem.
these conversations all the time.
100%.
And I want the world to know who Mervyn is, okay?
Gotcha.
So, and I want them to experience you from my lens.
Mm-hmm.
So, if there was one word, and yes, I'm only giving you one word, to describe who you are, like who the essence of Mervyn truly is, what would that one word be? One, you only get one. And I know you do a lot. Like, I know you do a lot. But I want you specifically to select one word. And then you got to tell me why you selected that one word.
One word. I would say I'm resilient, right? Resilient, why? Because, I'm determined. I'm always striving for the excellence. Nothing's perfect, but, I don't look at things that you win or lose. Either you win or learn. So even when I do win, I always look at, okay, how can I have made this better? How can I have done this more simpler? And I'm always seeking out, trying to get information on how, I can make the process more smoother for myself, but also for those around us. So I would say I'm very resilient, and I don't quit. I do not quit, right? I'm not a quitter, okay? Because quitters never win, and winners never quit. So, you got to strive, keep going.
I love that. I have to say, I agree with you on the resiliency. But I also have to say, you are
Don't tell them too much now with the resiliency.
You are very persistent.
Pleasantly.
They kind of go hand in hand.
Pleasantly persistent. Pleasantly persistent.
Yes. In all fairness. So being that you are so resilient, if you had to state right now, what was one of your greatest accomplishments? What would that be and why?
Okay. Are you talking business, personal, both?
Just a sense of accomplishment. What is your, whether it be personal or whether it be business, but what is what makes you super proud to this day? Like, this is it. This is, if I had to choose one, this is it.
I would say, I'm going to give you both.
Okay.
Business, the fact is that I started a financial company from scratch and built it up. We have 200 people working under us. We have about almost 4,000 clients. We retired people, help people put their kids through college, manage almost $50 million of people's money, almost $1 billion of insurance in the community, which means that if people all die, we don't want them to, because you and I are one of them, right? Is that, $1 billion will be paid out to them. But I would say on a personal level, my union with my wife, she's really humbled me. You know me, right? So, I've had to take a step back, adapt myself, and adjust. And I'm very proud that, she's been able to do that. That's why we have a beautiful baby girl right now. So I'm very proud of that. And I'm looking forward to, of course, what the future has to come for both of us.
Mm-hmm. And your baby girl just had a birthday.
Just had a birthday, right? April 16th, one day after, the day that everybody tries to avoid. But, celebrate it 100%.
So you mentioned that you built a financial company from the ground up. When people hear the word finances,
Scary.
Yes, right. It's the big boogeyman. With finances, were you hesitant to get into finances? I would say this. What made you fall in love with finances?
I wouldn't say I fell in love with it, but when I heard the concept of it, because I always love numbers. I'm a numbers person. So not the adding and subtracting, just like, one of my favorite artists, Jay-Z said, I hated algebra, but I love to multiply. I love multiplication. I love compound interest. So I had choices because I actually went to school for computer science originally. And then after doing that for a year and a half, I was like, I don't think I want to be in a lab all day. I want to actually have some fun. So I went to the department and they said, what do you like? I said, numbers. They said, okay, you have 3 choices. You could do math teacher. No offense, not doing that. Okay, because I used to, terrify the teacher. So I was like, mad, that's payback time if I do that. Second is accountant. And then he said finance. And then I said, well, what's that? Right. They said, well, you like numbers, right? They said, yeah. And they said, well, how do you feel about money? I said, me and money are like this. Okay. And so I explored that and I started learning about it. And I was like, no, I'm with this. Yeah.
And it's so crazy because when you think about finances, you really find joy in dealing with finances and people. And that can be very challenging for most.
Yes, it is. Yeah, most definitely. Because, it's a sensitive topic. It's a sensitive situation. Sometimes, we got to remove our pride from that. Okay. But if you're patient with people and you listen, okay, you can go out and help a lot of people. And that comes with anything. So, if you apply yourself and learn the finance and then you're good with people, it's an ultimate.
Because people don't even like being honest with themselves about their own personal finances, let alone divulging that to someone else.
People are in denial.
How do you build those relationships?
Just through, breaking the ice, getting to know them, get to know personally what are their goals, what's important to them, And over time, I don't think it's the first time. It's like dating. Okay. The more you get to know someone, the more they feel more relaxed and more, they feel comfortable and you build relationship over time. Right. I'm not here to provide a transaction. I'm here to provide a service. And God willing, I want to provide a long-time service,
that's
to
good.
people who work with me.
And I'm sure once you build credibility word of mouth is the best advertisement.
100%.
So once you build credibility with one client, it's like, no, you need to come talk to him.
Yes,
like he did good for me. So I'm sure that helps as well.
It's helped out tremendously.
Now, obviously, you have to know what you're doing to build such a large company and such a large clientele. So can you tell me what are your daily disciplines that you do every single day? And also, what are your non-negotiables in business?
Okay. And of course, that changes over time. But some non-negotiables every day, of course, you and I, share the same thing. I learned from you is you got to give thanks. Because unfortunately, not everybody has opportunity to wake up. Amen. So I'm very grateful, gratitude, giving thanks, daily prayer. And then after that, I've actually adopted meditation. My sister, shout out to Jennifer Boone.
Jennifer Boone, I knew it was
right, okay. She put that on to me. Another friend, Nicole Stroud. Meditation, deep in thought, reading is very important. Okay, they said that the mind, is its most powerful and elevates. First thing in the morning. So I'm working on my mind first thing in the morning. And another good friend of mine had told me that as great as devices are, we got to put them to the side. So I have the 2 to 3 hours, of time that I have the devices to the side, and I'm just prayer, meditation, reading, and then after that, now I'm working on the most important thing which is the body. Okay, so we're working on that. So those are my non-negotiables. Yeah, I seen
you've been a gym buff lately.
Yeah, I'm counting the days.
What are you on day what now?
I'm on a little behind. Caught a little injury. Had a little Anthony Davis moment, but I'm actually on day 45. But we got some catching up to do. For sure.
That's dope because how you do anything is how you do everything. Obviously,
exactly.
You know that. So it's like, working hard to be the total package, I think is super, super admirable. So let's jump back into finances, right? So when you say finances is a very broad spectrum.
Yes, it is.
What's your niche? Like, where do you feel like, okay, this is my area. I'm in my bag.
Okay, well, I love the investing part. I guess that has to do with the numbers. So that's my thing. I want to say putting it all together, actually.
Elaborate on that.
So putting it all together, like it's like you building a house. It's actually a financial house. So to have people understand that more, like think about real estate. You go into a rehab house, you see it, you develop it, and then you turn around, either you sell it or you rent it out. Well, to me, finance is the same thing. You meet somebody, okay, they're in a situation, and then you ask them what they want, and then what you got to do is you got to create a financial picture, because they all go together. Saving money, paying off your debt, budgeting, protecting your income, they all go hand in hand. So once you tie it all together and then you show them the picture, okay, and they see the picture of how it looks, but most importantly where they want to go, and then we just got to work together and accomplish what they want.
I love that. I was watching a reel earlier today, and they were saying how it was this black pastor, and he was saying how we teach in the church tithing, right? But the average black community can't grasp the concept of tithing because we never made a picture of what a full budget and what a full financial house looks like. I swear to you, I just saw this today.
Wow.
Right?
Law of attraction. Okay.
I'm gonna
you
share.
Gotta send me that.
I'm
you
gonna
gotta
share it with you. I'm gonna
that.
share it with you. Actually, I posted it on my Insta story.
Okay.
But so it's crazy that you would say it's a house that we need to build. I think that once you give that visual and you break it down in that aspect, people will be more enticed to say, you know what? This is my house that I need to build, and these are the different components. Because a lot of times people just look at finance just as one lane. When people even think about money, they just think one stream, because we've just been so programmed and socially conditioned to look at money one way. So I think that when you think about diversifying your income and stuff like that, that's super critical. Speaking of social media, let me get in there, right?
Okay.
So I noticed that with social media now, it's trendy to be a financial expert. It's trendy to talk about life insurance. And then, with life insurance, it's already been confusing before social media, because you have so many different types of life insurance. And I know everything's not a one size fits all. However, I do notice that from what I've personally learned from you, a lot of the things I see online are very much conflicting.
Okay.
But then again, I'm not an expert, so I don't know, right?
Okay.
Well, not in life insurance, but I do know. I do know a thing or two about coins.
I got you.
Okay.
Okay.
But so in regards to life insurance, I know that's also a big lane.
Yes.
What's your take currently on life insurance?
Okay, so I'm gonna tackle all. So,
Okay.
Of course, it's not a one size fit all. Okay, we can't say that. But the real question is, when and why does someone need life insurance? When you have dependents, whether you're married, children, both, you take care of your parents, maybe you have to take care of your siblings or another family member, you have a mortgage, okay? So that's when you seek life insurance, and that's why you get it. See, the way I look at life insurance is you leveraging it, not leveraging to build wealth, okay? We could dabble into that, but leveraging where it buys you time, all right? And the time is generally 20, 30, 35 years, and I say that's the grind time. So during that time while you're renting wealth, you want to be accumulating wealth. How you accumulate wealth is through investing, real estate, businesses, or all of the above, so that when your dependents are older and they no longer depend on you, you already got your bag, right? So all it's doing is, like I said, is buying you time. And those experts that you be talking about, come on, man.
Because I'll be quick to send you something, Merv. This sounds a little bit wrong. What about this?
And I'll be going in, so I gotta all right, she don't understand that. All right, let me break that down a little different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How many people do you happen to know offhand? It's okay if you don't. How many percentage of Americans don't have life insurance?
I think statistics say 48%.
That is crazy. Y'all better go get y'all some life insurance.
Yeah.
I tell all my friends personally, like, I'm so serious about this. I've said it to mentees. I've tell everyone I know, go get life insurance. And it alarms me how many people will drag their feet for something like that. And I promise you, I tell everybody, don't send me your GoFundMe, because I promise you I will not. You could be my grandmother. I'm not off
abuela.
Abuela. Well, abuela has a policy. But off off principle, I am not, and let me look at the camera when I say this, I am not donating to a GoFundMe because I told y'all what to do. Whether you listen to it, it's up to you. Me personally, I'm not doing it. I'm not.
I got you. I respect that. Because as little as, all right, if you had to get it, little as 50 cents to $1 a day, you could protect yourself, right? Now, to adequately protect yourself, that's a different story, but 50 cents to $1 a day.
At the bare minimum.
Come on, man.
So speaking of that, also, now talk to me real quick about infinite banking.
Oh, why you have to go there? Because this is controversial right now.
I wouldn't be Lillie Ennis if I didn't just ask that question. Come on, talk to me.
Okay.
Let's
well,
talk to
the first thing is it's not a new concept.
Right.
Right. And I get disturbed, right? when people make it seem like what really sets me off when they make it seem like, oh, this is something they've been hiding from our people. If blacks and Hispanics knew this, man, we could change the community. Listen, that thing has been out for so long.
So let's break it down for people because the average person doesn't know what infinite banking means.
Okay.
Go in.
Infinite banking is basically it's a life insurance policy. And what is life insurance? Now, there's different types. It's generally called cash value. You got whole life, universal life, variable life, index universal life. We're going to talk about that one in a second. But all you're doing is you getting a life insurance policy that has a savings component. Oh, it has savings. That's pretty good. But you pay a lot more money for that. You pay anywhere from 4 to 10 times what you would pay for ordinary term insurance. So like, for instance, who's your car insurance company? Progressive. So let's say, you paying $250 a month for car insurance. If Progressive came back and said, hey, we have a car insurance where you could save money, but we're going to charge you $1,000 a month, what would you say to them?
I ain't paying
You ain't going to pay that. Come on. Right? So that's how those policies work. So all they're doing at the end of the day is they're taking the extra money they charge you, and the insurance company is leveraging money, which, by the way, they're doing anyway.
Correct.
All insurance companies make money by leveraging life, auto, home, health, okay? And now they're getting even more money so they can leverage it. And if you really understand how the policy works, your family ain't never going to get that savings, right?
Because a lot of people will say things like, oh, this is, life insurance is how you do this or it's how you do that. And what we as people want to do is build wealth. So what are your favorite ways on how the average household, average Joe can build wealth?
Well, the average person, in my opinion, of course, you could ask anybody on social media because they're experts. The 3 ways I feel is either you create a business, you get involved in a business, stocks in some way, stock market, or real estate. If you look at statistics, you look at the Forbes list, most successful people, right, majority of their wealth is in those 3 areas.
That's true.
Now, their foundation could be different, but it's generally in those 3 areas, and then they build it up, and then they build a whole entire portfolio. So all these other gimmicks, infinite banking, AKA index universal life insurance, first of all, come on now.
Yeah,
right?
Come on. Because now the real Merv is coming out. Thank you.
How is it an investment if it's called index universal life insurance? Insurance is not an investment. Actually, if you call your insurance company, you ask them, is this a life insurance policy or is it an investment? They have to tell you that it's a life insurance policy.
And there's different licensing because to do investments, you have to have your security. You have to be licensed. Right?
And then you could turn around if you want to be technical and say, is this policy registered with FINRA, which regulates the investment industry? Right. And they're like, once again, sir or ma'am, this is a life insurance policy. So right off the bat, that sets a red flag. The second thing is this whole tax-free, tax this, tax that. No, it's tax delayed, okay, which is like a 401k. But in terms of the tax-free, the only reason it's tax-free, man, you really want me to go there?
Yes.
Okay. Reason why is they say it's tax-free when it's not. If you give me $50,000 and I turn around and give you back 40, you going to pay taxes if you lost money? So if you put more money into a policy and turn around, you getting less back, how is Uncle Sam going to tax us on something we lost money?
Right. It's a loss.
That's a loss, okay? And then if you look at, if you were to take money out, and even if you did have a profit, In the fine print, it says that if you do surrender policy, you will pay taxes on any income taxes, by the way. I'm not a tax person, but income taxes on any gains. And the gains are so small. On average, anywhere between 1% to 4%. I don't care what type of policy it is. And the last thing is you getting charged out of WASU on fees. Fees. So I would stay away from the whole infinite banking. It's not new, y'all. It's been around for almost a decade. Okay. And there's states, regulators that are warning people. Go to the Department of Insurance. New York is one of them. Maryland's another that warns people about getting these policies. If the regulators are warning people, shouldn't we like second guess? Maybe I shouldn't do this.
Super candid moment. Ready? And I'm going to share it here. And I never really spoke about it. So in my network marketing career, there was a decline in the company, as you know.
Okay.
It was because of infinite banking.
Wow.
The top leaders in the company were like, come on, get involved with infinite banking. And I'm so grateful for my relationship with you because although we never discussed it, I'm like, Merv didn't tell me to do this. I'm good. I'm straight. And I did my own due diligence and I listened to it and I was like, this doesn't seem right. And I'm so grateful that I didn't get involved
No problem. You ain't never heard anybody say that they built wealth by buying a life insurance policy. Now, the proceeds helped Master P, right? He did the smart thing and did some what his grandparents left for him. That's that. But in terms of building wealth, you ain't never seen that. Come on. Nah.
Okay, good. I'm glad we got that out the way. Now,
let's put that to the side.
You run an amazing business.
Thank you.
With your beautiful wife. Okay? And I always give her props because really, when you met Zulia is when I really saw you like launch. They say the right woman in your life will elevate you. Facts. I had to put that in there.
Facts.
And I've seen you grow into this, this beautiful marriage. And also I've seen you become a dad. And I know how much you and I have both prayed over that situation. So I'm very happy. How do you juggle business? Because I'm sure it has its challenges because I don't think, me personally, I will want to work with my spouse. That's just me. That's just me. But how do you juggle being a husband, having a business? What boundaries do you have to set because you are married to your business partner? And then how do you also juggle being a parent?
Well, it's like you said, it's rough. And a lot of times, especially up and coming entrepreneurs, they always talk about, I got to have balance. You will get balance, but you got to be in balance to have balance. Okay? Everything will fall in place. You just have to give it time. So in regards to our business partnership, yes, there's some patience, especially because she deals with me. But, you find each other's roles. And one of the things I always say is roles change. You just have to allow it to change. And each person in your partnership, okay, whether you husband or wife or, co-CEOs, allow each other to find, their niche, okay? And then once you do that and you apply that, it's game over. Look at Wozniak and Jobs. Look at Bill Gates and Paul Allen. They played their roles and they all, they went out and became successful.
I love that. I also admire the fact that you do something that I did, especially in the beginning of my entrepreneurship journey. You have the baby there. You have her present. You have her listening. You have her engaged. You have her a very much present part of your routine. Whereas I always wanted my children to be a part of what I had going on because I didn't want to be the woman that just had a nanny. And then the children are being raised by the nanny and not an integral part of the family. So I commend both of you guys.
Thank you. Well, I learned that from you. Shout out to you. I saw what you did with your boys, and you just exposed them, not just, through your entrepreneur opportunities, but you gave them opportunity to see what life has to offer. So I always told you, right, when we get blessed with a child, I'm going to do the same thing. So just following those footsteps. And it's amazing, like you said, when I see her and she's like looking out in the audience, her eyes just light up, right? So she's getting exposed.
She is, and she's so attentive to it.
Correct.
Also, and she's well behaved.
Yes.
She is. No, listen, hear me out. She's a child, but she's a well-behaved child.
Yes, thank you so much. That's due to her mother. I can't take no credit.
So I have a book. right?
Yes, yes.
The 10 Glam Commandments, available on Amazon. But in the book, I have a chapter, and we talk about how parents talk to children about money. And the truth of the matter is, if you pay attention to typical American households, they talk to boys differently about money than they do talk to girls. And I have to speak even from a Latina perspective. We have been taught to go to school, get good grades, go to college, so you can land a husband. And I know y'all not gonna like me saying this, but I'm gonna say the truth. And I always was so against that. And I've always paid attention to how we talk to children about money. How do you feel that the narrative either has to change, or how do you feel that you're changing the narrative in your household specifically?
Well, I think, of course, with children, you got to catch them at an early age and teach them about money. Once again, it's not a simple concept, but that's why, I got involved in what I do. And that's why I'm actually even more passionate, because as great as opportunities that my parents gave me, and I'm always grateful, some of those principles in regards to money, I wish they instilled in me. So when I sit down and help somebody with what we do, of course, we want them to pass it down to their children. So it's a step-by-step process. How would I start? I would start as simple as, go get 4 glass jars, okay, because everything's visual.
Correct.
And then you can either get Monopoly money or real money, okay, right? Don't get mad if they keep it. And I would get some bills. I'll get a $100 bill, $50, 2 20s, and a 10. And I'll say, all right, this is what we're going to do, okay? Let's say you got paid $100. And what we're going to do with that 100, we're going to break it up. We're going to put $20, 20%, and we're going to invest it in your future.
Amen.
Pay yourself first. We're going to put it in one jar, right? The other $20, unfortunately, got to go to our not-so-favorite uncle, okay? Right? But for entrepreneurs, you and I know that's later down the line. All right, but we're going to do that for now. And the other 10% is for charities, tithing, right? Giving back. So they have those roots, okay, embedded them from an early age, okay, right? To always give thanks and give a blessing and bless other people. And then, all right, how do we live off the rest? So then there goes budgeting. Teach them about budgeting. Whether you draw it out, I know that nobody uses a checkbook, but draw it out, going online.
But you should teach.
You should, yeah, 100%.
I think that stepping away from teaching about checkbooks, even if we don't physically do it, is why people mismanage their money. That's why you have tons of overdraft fees, because nobody really manages money anymore. And it's so crazy how, as families, we'll anticipate and prepare ourselves to do to talk to our children about drugs, about sex, but we don't anticipate talking to our children about money.
And we use it every day. We should.
Every day.
Yeah.
From when you're little. Correct. That's why one of my favorite books, that one of the first things that I give anyone that I'm mentoring, is Secrets to a Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. Right? Because
you put me on with that.
Yeah.
And this is way before my entrepreneur days. You was on that time. Way before.
I was telling everybody to get that book, because you need to know what your money blueprint is.
Correct.
It's so crazy. When I had my first big job, because my background is in healthcare, believe it or not, and I was working in the hospital, I was making great money, but I was getting overdrafts. And I didn't understand, and a huge part of it was that I was paying bills ahead of time because I wanted to be so get out of debt. And I didn't realize I was putting myself in debt by having these overdraft fees, by anticipating paying things earlier. But the reason why I was doing it is because I always used to hear my mom say when I was growing up, I don't care if my account is in negative as long as my bills are paid.
Wow.
And so my subconscious mind picked that up and was doing that. And I'm like, they're like, oh, you have one day I called my utility company, the electricity company, and they say, you have a credit of $200. I said, what do you mean? I don't owe anything? No, you actually paid ahead. And I'm like, oh, this is why I'm doing this. And it just clicked right there. So what do you feel is going to be the most important lesson that you're going to teach Valencia about money? What's the one thing you really need? You need to know this.
Investing. That's the most important thing. The jar. Also, now more than ever, credit. Okay, how important credit is and leveraging your credit, but also leveraging your cash. If you got cash and credit, man, sky's the limit.
Game over.
Yeah. And, we practice what we preach. We started off from the time I got her social, we set up those accounts for her. So she going to be right.
So you mentioned real estate as building wealth, right? Or your top 3. I read something the other day that was saying that commercial real estate is actually like tanking right now because people are shopping more online. So these brick and mortar buildings and all these salon suites and all these things that people created, there's just not a huge demand for it. And how it's going to affect the economy and how it's going to affect entrepreneurship in general. There's been a lot of shifts, a lot of different waves in entrepreneurship. What is your favorite part of being an entrepreneur right now?
Freedom.
Talk to us. What when you say freedom,
freedom, having time and money. But the challenges for a lot of young and up-and-coming entrepreneurs, they mistake having freedom with being free. Freedom comes with responsibilities.
Come on.
Now, it's a challenge, but if you think about corporate America, the reason why corporate America is successful, you and I know, because they know how to manage our time. So we can become successful as well if we manage our time, okay? Get on the grind so then you can have that freedom. So the fact is that, you could travel when you want to travel, do what you want to do, or, invest in other opportunities. Entrepreneurs is where it's at, entrepreneurship. So the freedom aspect of it.
And true entrepreneurship.
The fact is, like I said, my daughter turned 2. From the time she was born, this is why we did what we did. All right? We spent a lot of time. They throw
that entrepreneur word around very loosely.
Very loosely. Very loosely. You're going to be a broke entrepreneur. Okay, so
you gotta be able to get your nose bloody. You gotta be able to take some L's.
Correct.
It's not as glamorous. I've been in situations where, especially, for a minute I was in the trucking game. My account said 33,000, and then literally the next day 33 cents. Like,
that's the up and downs, but you gotta ride with it.
Right.
Definitely gotta ride with it.
Beautiful. So I know you shared a lot. You shared about your personal life. You shared with us who you are and at its core essence, how your foundation of how you even got to this point right now. And then you shared with us, your business and your concepts. I'm so grateful that we got to learn from you, especially in regards to what you do, because it is a sensitive topic and it is a taboo topic. And it's something that people are scared to speak about. So if you could give us one final gem, like one final takeaway, something that you want people to know, what would that be?
One gem I would say, if, those of you listening out there or watching this, I would say is that, like we talked about earlier, expose yourself. Don't have a one-track mind. A lot of people today, I went to school for this, I'm passionate about that. You don't really know until you see what's out there. Okay, so I would dabble in any opportunities that come across your way, because it could be your first or it could be your last. So I would just, especially those parents, I see a lot of parents, I don't want them working and going to school. I don't want them to get overwhelmed. Well, that's what made you successful in who you are today. So, you want to pass that down, teach them to have balance, but, life is not simple. But if we coddle them, they're going to get eaten alive. But
I love that.
Yeah.
So how can people stay connected with you? How can people look out for your different services? I know you have other projects as going in. So we want to make sure that the people stay connected with you.
Well, they could find me LinkedIn or Facebook, my name, Mervyn Boone Jr. On Instagram. You could catch me on simplify_your money. Okay, you could contact me there, send me a DM, follow me. Okay, and we'll definitely show some love back.
I love that. So without further ado, we thank you so much for tuning into this. We learned a lot. It's your girl, Lillie Ennis. In order to stay connected with me on LinkedIn and Facebook, it's Lillie Ennis. And also on Instagram is @FirstLadyLillie. I want to thank you again for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Peace out, y'all.